know it. What is up, everybody? We are here live. I'm here with David the Truth Lamorte
Hey,
over here in Long Island. What's up, bro?
let's go, bro. Thanks for having me here.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Guys, today, if you guys have never been on this call, we do a live call every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we show you guys how to find cash buyers live. And I break down deals that I'm doing. That I do deals live. I break down deals that I'm doing and how I found the cash buyer, how to make money. We got David on here. If you guys need help finding a cash buyer, obviously in Long Island, he's the guy. He's your main dude. He knows all the cash buyers in Long Island, right, bro?
Right here.
Yes. Yeah, man, he puts his number out there. Amazing.
That's my
So
personal cell too. So
that's your personal cell, bro? You
my
sure you want to give
personal,
that out?
Yeah. If we had like a horn, you could hit. Bang, 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 bang.
That's it. We need a horn. I actually think there are some sound effects in here. Hold on, let me see.
We should get on. That seems to be catching the sound effects. I like that idea.
This is a little night driving, but that
I
ain't
can't
like.
hear it though.
You can hear it. Oh, it's because I got my Shure mic in. All right,
Okay.
everybody. So, if you're watching this live, or if you watch this later, just tell us where you're watching from. We love to network with people. We love to do deals. We love to JV. So, if you're in a market, let us know where you're working from. And obviously, we get a deal in the area, we'll hit you up. And if you have a deal where we can help you out, we'd love to help you out. It's all about collaboration, and helping each other grow. All right, guys. Behind me, I have the batch leads. I got the Vibe board touchscreen. And we got batch leads back there. I'm going to explain to you guys how we found this buyer for the deal we had, where I did a $35,000 deal. Today's going to be like a case study. So tomorrow the deal is closing. It's already assigned. This was a property that was with a real estate agent. And we had the real estate agent, since the contract that they use in their state of Utah, the real estate rep C, is non-assignable. We had the agent sign an addendum so we could assign it to our end buyer. We told the agent the whole time we were wholesaling it. That's how we do things the painless way. We're very transparent. Hey, we're not buying this. We have lots of buyers. We're going to sign it. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. Okay. It doesn't matter, especially if you have the best offer. They don't care who you're giving it to, as long as they accept your offer and it's the best offer. So let's talk about this deal really quick, and then we're going to go into how you can find buyers using batch. I'm going to have to turn off my nifty light so you can see the screen, but we'll do that a little bit later in the call. Big shout out. We got Antonio Rocha watching from Brazil. Obrigado.
All right, let's go.
Obrigado. I think that's how you say thank you. I don't know. Estrela. I know a couple words in Portuguese. I actually can understand Portuguese because I speak Spanish. So, I can understand Portuguese. So anyway,
A couple things.
Obrigado. What's up? So David, all right, let's talk about this deal, bro. So let me kind of give you the scoop on how we did this deal. What I do is I get the notice of default list sent to me every like week or every month that it gets updated from my title company. Now you can get the notice of default depending on what area you're in, because every county is different on the way they get that notice of default out. But you can get it from batch leads. I have my title company send it to me. I also check batch leads depending on which area, but specifically in these areas I'm working for the notice of defaults, as I get the list sent to me. I have my virtual assistant Zishan skip trace it inside batch leads. So as soon as I get this list, I send it to Zishan, say, Zishan, skip trace this thing and put it on that spreadsheet, and let's start reaching out to some people. So we were reaching out to, and by the way, before I stop, I keep going with the notice of default. David, do you know what notice of default is?
I was just going to ask exactly what that means. And that it's interesting you're getting it directly from the title company, which I like as well.
Yeah, it's because if you start working with investor-friendly title companies, a lot of them do have a lot of lists that you can target, right? Now, batch leads is perfect for skip tracing, getting lists, but also if you network with title companies and you're balling on a budget, let's just say you don't have batch, you should get batch, but if you don't, you can network with your title company, see what they got. Now, a notice of default is someone who is behind on their mortgage and they're getting a notice that they're in default. They haven't made their payment. Right now, if they're in notice of default for long enough, they're going to get pre-foreclosure and then go into foreclosure and lose their house, right? So the notice of default is like, hey, warning, right? And then obviously they get foreclosed on. So these are people who are behind and we're reaching out to because we know if they don't like catch their payment up, they're going to have to sell or they're going to lose their house, right? Does that make sense, David?
Yeah, that's 100%. That makes sense.
So the key with this reaching out to these people with this list is, and by the way, like other than the notice of defaults that I reach out to, that's like really the main thing I'm focused on when it's coming to lead gen. A lot of people do, like, I know David, you do driving for dollars. You can do that with batch, but like I just do NOD and then I work and I network with other agents and other wholesalers. That's like my lead gen strategy, right? So the thing that's going on, like if you reach out to someone that's in a notice of default or like it's going to lose their house, if you're like, hey, what's up? Do you want to sell your house? Like that's probably not the best message to send to someone who's going to lose their house,
And
right?
it might not go through depending on the compliance of text messages.
Exactly, exactly. So what we've been doing is we actually, instead of doing like a text blast, we actually just send them a text from our cell phone or a Google Voice number that's like one at a time because we really want to reach these people. And when you send it from a cell phone that or an iPhone where they can see the blue, they usually like, okay, this is a real person, not a robot. They feel a little bit more comfortable. So that's why we do it like that. But we were using a Google Voice number. It isn't blue, but still like the delivery rate is going to be good because it's just like one by one instead of a multi like text blast, right? Now I'm not saying text blast isn't good. I just don't do it when it comes to notice of default. So we've been reaching out, and when we reach out to people, we give like a very empathetic message, just like, "Hey, is this still John's number, right?" And then we say like, "Hey, we're reaching out just because I know we saw you on a list. I know that you're probably coming across some hard times. We're here to help. We have multiple options to help you either get out of pre-foreclosure or getting foreclosed or, other options. So we're not just going immediately and saying, hey, do you want to sell your house? Like very aggressive. And these people, they could be facing divorce. They could be facing job loss. Like we don't want to just be like going straight at them to the neck and being like, hey, you want to sell that house, buddy?
Yeah.
We're trying to be like, understand their situation and offer help. So,
and Nathan, will you say that in the text message? You'll like what you just said in the beginning, after that first reach out, are you giving them a little bit of an explanation like, hey, I know you're on this list, or you're trying to get them on the phone for that part?
No, the initial text message that we have is like, hey, we understand we got your information from this and we're just letting you know we have options to get you out of it, because we do have options. We can help them do a loan modification. We can walk them through the process. Like we're not just like giving them one option. That's our cash offer. We want to just provide value, right? You lead with value.
I like that.
So
that's good.
We reached out to a guy who's an older gentleman, and he was like, yeah, like, what can you do to help me stay in my house? That was what he wanted. So we were like, hey, well, obviously we'd like to sit down with you. Texting with him was kind of difficult. He was not the best texter. And he's like, look, if you got options, I'd like for you to talk to an agent that's helping me. So he actually was already working with a real estate agent who had this house. He signed a listing agreement with his agent. The agent did not put the property on the MLS. She did a pocket listing. So she signed an agreement with him to say, hey, I'll sell your house for you, but I'm not going to put it on the market because of how distressed it was. And they didn't want to do all that, right? So, and we got some comments coming in. We'll hit those later, guys. And I'll answer anybody that's making comments. I'll answer. Let me just I'll finish the story and then we'll go into that. We'll answer your questions. So the guy was like, hey, just talk to my agent. So we called the agent, and the agent's like, hey, yeah, I'm not putting this thing on the market. I'm actually looking for cash buyers. What options do you guys have to help him so maybe he doesn't have to sell? And I talked to her about, okay, how far is he behind? Can we catch it up? Is the house like, can we rent it? can I take over the mortgage? And like we talked about sub two, all this stuff. And it just turned out that the house was so distressed, catching it up, using it as a rental, it sub two, it didn't really make sense because of how much she was behind. It wouldn't cash flow very good with the amount of repairs you had to do. So she's like, well, I'm looking to take this and we're going to look for a cash offer anyway. And I was like, hey, that's great because I have a relationship. I know tons of cash buyers. We wholesale. Do you mind if I send this out to a couple of my buyers? She's like, no, of course, send it out to whoever you want. Right. And she's like, I need offers. And I was like, okay. Now I have two options. I don't have this under contract. So I have two options. I can either blast it out to the world, which I don't really like email blasts. I like to just work with a couple of my buyers that I like. So either one is I blast out like most people do and just see what happens. I don't have it under contract and I can't trust everyone on that list. I don't know everyone on my 30,000 buyers list of Utah. So instead I just called, we called 10 to 15 of our top buyers and we said, hey, everybody, this is the situation. We don't know the price exactly that we're going to get this under contract for. They haven't agreed to anything yet, but we just need you to walk through and tell us what you'd pay for it. Okay. So we don't have a price, but we know we're going to leverage their offers to negotiate. First offer that went in was $150,000. Okay. The guy wants like 280. That's what he wants. So we're like, oh my gosh, first offer 150. That sucks. That's way low, right? Most people would stop at that point. They would be like, that there's no reason to continue. Obviously, they want too much and it's not a good deal. We sent another, I think, 8 buyers to walk through. We had offers ranging from 150 to 250, $100,000 difference. Where it was like, we had some at 220, 200. So if we would have stopped at 150, we would have lost the deal, right? Like it wouldn't have made sense. Like for us to continue if we would have stopped. And well, I guess let me just rewind. If we would have stopped, we would have never found that offer at 250. Okay. So we go back to the agent and we say, hey, we've had a lot of our buyers go through. We know exactly what they can pay. What offers have you been getting? Okay. Cause we're open, we're transparent about the situation. She's like, most of the offers I've been getting have been pretty low, like less than 200,000. So we know that if we can beat 200,000, we probably win the deal, right?
Yep.
Again, no, we don't have this under contract. All we've done is made a couple calls, sent people through. It hasn't taken up that much of our time. We've gone back and forth in negotiations, and we ended up getting the house under contract and winning it at 215 and assigned it for 250. Right.
Let's go.
So, and this was all without, I would say, the painless way, in the sense like we didn't have it under contract. We were just transparent. We sent our buyers through and we won the deal. Now, this is what was interesting. The agent was like, hey guys, I just have to do highest and best. And I got to give everyone opportunity to make offers. Like I just have to. So we know a couple of other gurus or people in our market that, have been doing wholesaling for a long time that we were going against. Right. So we're like, you might look at that, David, and be like, oh crap, we're going against some other high level wholesalers. They're going to come in and lock it up and then use the assignment fee and all that stuff. So do you kind of feel like that would be kind of a tough battle to win, right? Like, if
I could see that too, especially, definitely.
So why do you think we won? And I'll tell you why I think we won. Because we already had our buyers through. We already had their offers. We already knew their due diligence.
You already brought value.
They already brought value. Now these other wholesalers, on their agreement, I haven't asked the agent what they offered, but let's say we offered 215, 0 days due diligence because they already went through, $50,000 EMD non-refundable, and that's our offer. 215, 0 days due diligence, $50K EMD, no non-refundable, and then 5 other wholesalers come in, and on their contracts they say 7-day due diligence, 10K down, 5K down, 14-day due diligence, 3-day due diligence. They're going to look at, the agent's going to look at that, and she's not an idiot. She knows what wholesaling is. She's going to be like, these are people that don't have buyers, that just want to tie up my property and send their buyers through. And their offer of 260, 280, 290, whatever, it's not even real. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's not legit. So that's how we beat out multiple different wholesalers, because our offer was so strong and it was real, versus saying whatever you wanted to put on the contract. And that's what we said to her. We said, look, we can also, if you wanted to give us more time, we can extend this out, give us 5 more days and we'll blast this out if you want to go through that process. And she's like, look, we don't want any due diligence. We just want a sure thing.
Yeah, right.
So sometimes when you're dealing with agents and you're dealing with buyers, they don't want to get locked up. They don't want to wait. They want a sure thing. So give them a sure thing by being like, I can give you a sure thing. I'm going to do a walkthrough tomorrow. And I'm going to send all my people through and I can give you 100% a real thing. We don't have to sign paperwork or anything. And I'll let you know exactly what we can do. So that's the way I like to operate a lot, because I do not like to, unless it's like 100% a deal where it's worth 500,000 and they're willing to take 200,000. It's like, yeah, I'll lock that up because I'm going to buy it if I can't find a buyer.
Yeah.
But other than that, like if they want a lot of money and you're not sure, I just tell people, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. I can give you a 0 days due diligence, 50K, 10K, 15K, non-refundable earnest money. All I need to do is just look at the property tomorrow. I'm going to send a lot of the buyers that I work with through, and I'm going to pick which one I work with. Now, that's the transparent way to do business. Now, if none of you guys have ever done that, and they're like, well, someone could steal the deal from me. Well, don't send people through that you don't trust. Like, I'm calling and sending buyers that I know and I've worked with. So I know they're not going to go to the seller and be like, hey, this guy's just trying to make money. Well, obviously we're working together, like I'm sending my buyers through. So anyway, David, that's how we were able to beat out a lot of other wholesalers. And this strategy might be different for a lot of people, but it beat out a ton of different, I guess you'd say competition, because we had the sure thing. And we were willing to just send a couple of buyers through and trust that, the people we work with are going to make their best offer. And we're going to present that offer. Any questions, David?
Yeah, this is the best of both worlds here in a way, because, there's the big discussion, right? Direct to seller, working with, wholesale. What's your main lead for generation? You're working with agents. And with this, you kind of did all of it. And maybe because you're experienced in all those arenas, but I really like the way this deal worked out, because especially coming from the default list, which, speaks to maybe somebody like me who gets excited about how you're doing this, but direct to seller, but also doing it the painless way, which is literally what I'm always trying to incorporate in our conversation. Even before this was kind of along those lines with, creating that for you in your journey, in your market, wherever it may be. My question would be, probably I'd love to hear about that 8 buyer process. I think it was maybe smoother because you had the agent rather than if it was pure direct to seller and then having 8 people come through. But it was like the perfect accumulation of things where the agent understood. They're already used to kind of showing the property. Now you can just bang out a showing, and it's like a real showing of cash buyers. So yeah, I really like this deal. So my questions would be around like that process of getting 8 buyers. Was that all within 3 hours? Can they see each other?
Yeah. So check this out. The way we did it is we just sent them all within an hour block. We just said, hey, from 12 to 1, we're going to have our buyers walk through your property, and we'll let you know what we can offer at the end. And it was as simple as that.
Amazing. And just to a follow-up for logistics, and that worked out well. Like, did you have anybody maybe late or delay or any? Because those are the sort of things that people, as beginners, they're already blocking themselves off. They're like, yeah, but what if that and that? But look, you did this and it worked out beautifully. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe there was a little bit of here and there, but I mean, it still flowed.
Yeah. So that might be something that someone might be worried about, something that someone wants to think about. Like, what if I send 7 buyers and I don't have the contract and they all start talking to each other, right? Yeah. Like, or they talk to the seller. So the way that we get buyers using batch or using relationships is we work with people through like our network. So I'm getting buyers from my title company that they've referred to me. I'm getting buyers that I can see. Like if I go right here to batch and I just type in the address, let me turn off my light so you guys can see. So with batch leads, what you can do is you can type in an address. It's not very clear, is it? Dang. Oh yeah, I got to zoom out on this thing. Okay. So it might not be super clear. The reason I can't share my screen is because this is streamed on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't like all the information because batch shows the good stuff. So if you type in an address and you go and like zoom out and then you draw down here, if you draw a box around that property and you ask Batch to send you what cash buyers are buying in this area, it's under map quick filters. If you go to cash buyers, let's see, it's one of the options up here. So right here it says cash buyers. You click on cash buyers. You click on any of the cash buyers. You're going to have to filter through them. Batch will show you how many properties these guys own, right? So if you're working with someone who's got like one house, maybe that might be an indicator this isn't an investor that's done this a lot. But for me, if I go and click on this guy that's a cash buyer and I see that he owns multiple rentals or multiple properties, I'm like, okay, this guy is an investor. He's done multiple deals. He knows what I'm doing. And I'm just assuming I'm going to talk to him, but I'm assuming that hasn't gotten this far in his investing journey by kind of snaking people. Right. So that's where what I do is I'd say, okay, did this come from my network? Do I know who it is? Or is it someone that's done multiple deals? That's like built their business off of probably having a good, being honest and a good relationship with people. That's what I do. And you can look, like I said, on Batch, and you can see how many how many properties they own on the right. It says owner profile. So if you click on that, it shows you how many properties this person owns. So right here, it shows you a property that he owns. So he only owns one. So that was a bad example, but anyways, does that help, Dave? Does that answer your question? Or like maybe
no, that's perfect.
just like,
and it makes sense. And relationships can form, just to share with people, relationships can form quicker than you realize off of things that you maybe don't realize that are, you ever meet somebody, and I talked about this before, like on vacation, and it's like, say you're in New York, right? Or you meet somebody from Utah. It's like, oh, hey, like, so just that as a concept, if you can utilize that while you're networking we do with title companies, we do with investors, hey, this person referred to me. It might not need to be my friend for 20 years, 15 years. Sure, that's great if that is the relationship, but you can create relationships and trust and familiarity in a faster way than people realize sometimes. And it just might be a couple different names and a couple different conversations, and you could be in a room or in a conversation with, like Nathan is, even if you think, oh, I can't do that, I'm just starting and I don't know anything, like you might be a couple minutes away from that relationship.
Yeah, and there's a thing called The Speed of Trust. It's a book, but the way to gain trust or work with someone and like trust them quickly is like energy's real, guys. Like I'm not gonna get crazy about it, but like you can almost over the phone feel the vibe of somebody, or you can feel like, hey, this is a good person, or you can look in their eyes if you see them in person and be like, okay. So like I know a lot of it is not like conscious, like it's nonverbal. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not able to tell, but you can feel it. So there's a lot of people, like buyers that I've talked to, like immediately on the first call, I'm like, I don't know if that's like, I'm not judging them as a person. I'm just saying this might not be someone that I want to work with. They were very short with me. They're very quick. Maybe they're a great buyer, but not someone that I want to work with, just of how they treated me on that first call. Right. So all I got to say, guys, is like, there's no silver bullet. There's no like one way to know like, hey, is this the best buyer to work out with, other than like, do I feel good about working with this person? Did I get them referred to by somebody else? That's all, in my opinion, what would help you to know if there's a buyer. But really, if they're willing to walk the property, you probably should let them go, because sometimes it can be hard to get buyers to even just go see a house. So
100%.
Just go, if they want to go see it, I'd say, hey, go check it out. And there's really nothing to hide, in my opinion, if you're just transparent. Like if you're just like, hey, seller, I'm sending some of my cash buyers through that I work with, or agent, I'm sending some cash buyers that I work with over just to see what we can pay. Okay.
Yep.
Now that buyer goes and is like, hey, this guy sent me to your house because he's going to wholesale it to me. It's like, well, that's what we already discussed. I'm sending you because you're one of my buyers. So there really shouldn't be anything. I think people get worried about all this stuff when they're trying to hide hide stuff. And it's like, you
Yeah,
don't really
I
need
was
to.
too. I was, I did a couple years like that. So
Yeah. So let me just recap for everyone that's maybe jumped on a little late. And I got my boy said, this is, yo, you got this, Andy.
shout out
I
to
don't,
Andy.
yeah. Shout out. Let's get it. So I'll recap this for everybody. Using batch leads, using the list that they give you, or if you're able to network with the right title companies. Not every title company is going to give you the NOD list, right? But depends on the ones that you have and the connections they have. We were able to get the notice of default list. We reached out on an individual cell phone. We reached out. We were texting, "Hey, is this John? Hey, John, I noticed that you're on the notice of default list. We want to let you know that there's multiple options that we have to help people get out of situations like this. Let us know, how we can help." And he responded, "Hey, how can you help? I don't want to move." Pretty much. Okay, hey John, like we'd like to meet with you in person. After texting back and forth, when can we meet? He said, "Hey, I actually have an agent that's representing, like helping me through this. Can you talk to her?" We talked to the real estate agent. The agent's like, "Hey, what options do you have to help them?" Said, "Well, subject to, we can take over we can catch the loan up, the mortgage up and take over. We can fix it. We can partner. It's what novation, whatever." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, because of the information she gave us, it didn't make sense other than to sell it for cash because the house is destroyed." So we said, "Okay, great. Is it, we wholesale, we have connections with tons of cash buyers. Is it cool if we send some of our top buyers through the house?" Sure. Send them through. We knew exactly what they're going to offer. When she came to us and said, "Hey, we're accepting the highest and best offers. I know you guys have sent people through, but I have to give other people a chance. Submit your best offer." Everybody else's offers had due diligence periods. They were wholesalers. Doesn't matter what price they offered. They didn't want to wait. They didn't want to risk it. When our offer, because we had our buyers sent through, we $50K non-refundable earnest money down and 0 days due diligence. So that is just like a shining light among the other offers that were there that like obviously were,
Yeah, there's a trust there.
yeah, there's a trust there, and it was obvious that I think most agents know what wholesaling is now, and if they don't want to get tied up by someone that doesn't have a legit buyer, they're not going to go with it,
Yeah.
So that's the story, everybody, and it was about $35,000 assignment. Like, I will say this is where we kind of get shook a little bit, bro. Is she told us that the best offer was like they weren't getting offers better at 200,000. And we were like, "Oh, we can get this at 2 and then wholesale it for 250, right? So it's 50K." We're
Yeah.
like, "Let's do that." But then when she brought in the highest and best, we were like, "Well, bro, like we don't want to lose out on this thing if someone offers a little bit more." So we did come up 15 and we ended up getting, so then you kick yourself, you're like, "Well, could we have stayed at 2
I
and
think
still
that's
got
a
it?"
win, bro. Especially if you got along with this agent and it sounds like it, and there was
Yeah.
value brought there. I mean, that's a win. That's a win-win-win.
And you know what happens next time, David? If this lady has a deal, she's going to hit us up. Why? Because we don't need to tie her up or sign and be like, "Okay, then we're going to send." We'll just say, "Oh, yeah, we can send some people." Like that's what real estate agents like do. Like we're like rogue real estate agents in the sense like, "Hey, let's send our buyers through and we'll make offers." Like instead of let me tie you up and then do it. Now I'm not saying that wholesaling method is wrong. It's just a lot of people do it wrong and they waste their time. They lock something up at the wrong price. They set the wrong expectations. Everyone gets upset. There's better ways to do it.
I'm
Any,
with it, man.
any, I hope me breaking down this case study of this deal like is helpful. Now I don't count the money until it's my bank account. So the deal closes tomorrow, but this is it's pretty solid in the sense that like the assignment's already sent, everything's at the title company. But I just wanted to give this scenario to everybody to let you know that having cash buyers in your back pocket is really important for deals that you don't have the opportunity to lock up and get 3 or 4 days of due diligence to send people by. You need to have somebody that you can send today if you talk to someone that's motivated. And if you guys don't, go ahead. This happens all the time. I'll share one more experience. So I was talking to this lady who was like, hey, I've dealt with it. This came from like a pay-per-click lead a while ago when I was doing pay-per-click. So she was like, "Hey, I'm not signing any more contracts with anyone because this has happened to me 3 times. I've had different people lock me up and say they're going to buy it and then they back out. I'm not signing anymore." And this is why I said to her, "Hey, look, I'm not going to do that to you. We don't have to sign any paperwork. Let me just send one of my buyers in there and I'll let you know exactly what we can pay." She's like, "Okay, but I'm not signing anything." I was like, "Okay." We sent the buyer, and I made like a $12,000 assignment fee. Then like once we got it locked in, because I was like, "Hey, we're good. There's 0 days due diligence. There's nothing you got to worry about. We're ready to rock." So you need to have that strategy, and you can call this the painless flipping strategy, because we do deals without we don't even have to make the offer. We let our buyers make the offer without having it under contract, and we're just transparent about it. So if you run into situations like that, guys, don't throw those leads away. Either give them to me or David, or just do it yourself and have buyers ready that you can send, and just have them make the offer for you.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, we've I've talked long enough. Hopefully this was helpful so you guys have a different strategy in your pocket. Thank you all. No, thank you, Facebook user. And before we sign off, David, do you have any other questions or anything you want to say to our people, to the people?
Yeah, I would. We something that we're talking about. I mean, it's so cliche, but just consistency is key. I mean, it's so cliche. It's more cliche than you want it to be, and it may take longer than you think, because it may take a while to really be honest about what's truly income producing or moving forward activities that you're doing with the day, which really comes down to making offers, getting on the phone with people, talking to people, and moving the needle forward. So maybe just to share that. I mean, I'm still in my own journey about that, but even in this month, this month we've had about the same amount of appointments that we had all of last month. So, that was encouraging for me. And it took me a while to get to that level of encouragement. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now. And, I was doing part time for a little bit. Now I've been doing, it'll be full time, almost a year, coming up after the end of this quarter. And yeah, it does take a while to build that momentum. And this is a great way that you can, I mean, if you're doing notice default, but by networking with agents and networking with other wholesalers and keeping your ad spend low, you can really learn a lot. It can be overwhelming, but I just want to keep saying consistency is key, no matter how cliche that is.
No, bro, I want to second that for everybody that's watching. This is so true. Like the skill sets that David, you've learned, or that I've learned, they didn't come just from me watching a video or listening to us talk about it, right? It came through like experience and daily incremental practice and improvement and failing and improving and getting better. Like, unfortunately, guys, I can't wave a wand and make you a master of negotiation, of like dealing with what I just talked about. It takes time. It takes failing. But the cool thing about life is, like, you can attach yourself to David, you can attach yourself to me, other people in the batch community, other people in my community. It's like that you can ask people for help. You don't have to do it all alone. The strength in numbers is important, right? So don't think you're alone, but just know it takes time to develop
Takes
that muscle
time.
and that skill. Okay.
Yeah. I think it takes time to even develop, like, the honest, like we talked about, my new way of thinking really is what you do is what you've been doing, and what you do right now is what you want, not what you say you want. And if you let that kind of hit, man, you're going to argue with yourself, and you might curse me out about why that's not true. No, I don't want to live this way. I don't want this. I don't. But if you allow some of that to come into your life, I think that's pretty life changing right there.
Dude, hey, everything you're saying, 100%. Like, you can say you want the world, you can say you want this and that, but unless you're willing to do it and take action,
The
it's all
sacrifice.
it's just noise, right? Um, I'll answer this quick question, then we'll dip. Nathan, how much is your mentorship, if you don't mind me asking? So the best way I can answer that is just to come to our master class every Thursday, and then we'll kind of teach what we talk about, and then you can book a call about our mentorship. We don't like talk about pricing outside of a call, just because there's different tiers and stuff. But yeah, if you're interested, go to the master class or DM me, and I can send you a time to chat, and then we just talk about what options we have. And honestly, we don't like just work with anybody, because it's me, and it's Nathan Valley, so we don't have like some giant operation, you know. So we're choosy, and just like you should be choosy about who you work with, right? All right, David. Well, if you got nothing else, everybody hit up David Lamorte if you got anything in Long Island. He's got his cell phone. Even if you guys need someone to network with, I'm sure David would love to help you out.
Hit me up.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a go giver.
I've been working with Nathan a while, so I'll tell you all about him.
Yes, yeah, he'll give you the juice. And same with me. If you DM me, hit me up or come to our masterclass. Again, we do this every Wednesday where we bring you guys real life scenarios. We're not just talking theory here. This is real deal stuff, and it's fun, but sometimes it ain't fun, right? It's up and down, and that's just the beauty of business. It's growth, right? All right, everybody. Peace.